Seems to be sort of this mysterious man who, obviously we haven't seen much of him on the field. What have you seen out of him in the week plus that he's been here with you guys?
He's a professional. He works. He brings great energy to work every day. He has a smile on his face. He has experienced the highest of highs and some lows in this business. Everything's happened to him, or he's made it happen. From coming into the league, going to the Pro Bowl, he's excellent at taking the ball away. He's scored many touchdowns on defense, which is a hard thing to do. And then he's overcome injuries, and he's seen different schemes. So he's seen it all. He's been absolutely wonderful to work with, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Is he somebody that you guys envision kind of splitting time with Jacob there at the mic, or is he somebody who can play really all three of those spots?
Well, we said that we had 4 starters when we started this year, and we've used them accordingly. So in certain game plans, some of the guys play more than others in different personnel packages. Like last week, we had a few different personnel packages, so we used 1 or 2 or all 3 of them. What's really cool about him is he's played Mike and Will. He's made the calls for many years. So you will see him in with 1 or 2 of the other guys at Mike and Will. And I won't say any more than that based off of personnel packages.
Do you think this is a week, but is he ready to go?
He's had a very good week of practice. So, yesterday he was moving around really well. So hopefully.
Process like when you bring a guy in the middle of a season and kind of have to get him up to speed like as fast as possible?
Well, that's what this league and this business is all about is, know your personnel, use your personnel, and get them going. What's great about him is he's been in a form of the system, coached by really good coaches that myself and a lot of our staff have spent some time around. So a lot of it's just translating. He's done many of the techniques that we do within our defense, our zone drops, how we shed blocks. He's done that, with Coach Quinn, Coach Olbrich. So that translation is really just translating words. So he just has to repeat it to himself, right? Like, okay, this, and my old team was this, so now it's this. And we've been doing that since he got here. Hey, you've heard this word your whole life, now it's this word. And a lot of them are the same. Some are different, though. So he's done great with that, just practicing saying things sometimes. When you're this and you get the call as a Mike linebacker and you got to put your hands over your ears sometimes, depending on the stadium, right? And then you got to repeat it. So you just have to keep practicing doing that over and over.
So it's probably too soon, perhaps, then for him to wear the green sticker until he really has the terminology down?
Well, he's done a good job with it. So there's a good chance he's wearing the green helmet quickly here in the near future.
And what do you think he will do well in that role?
He's really good at identifying run and pass. He's really good with both his experience and his feel at matching things in zone coverage. And he's really good at attacking the ball. And that's one thing I think he's brought to our room is just hey, see this? I broke on this, but now I'm thinking about the ball. Just more people that think about the ball all the time because there's only one, but every time they hand it off, we get a chance to attack it, right? When they throw it, sometimes you're near it, sometimes you're not. But he brings that. He's very, very, very ball aware, and that's helped our room. And I'm excited to see that when he gets his turn.
When you look at the 2 games where you guys gave up a bunch of yards on the ground, what were the biggest issues for your guys?
Well, it's 11 on 11. And we got to fit correctly. And so sometimes you're trying to make a play and you might move too fast because you see the play, but you got to trust where everybody is. The guys that are supposed to set the edge have to set the edge. The guys that are supposed to have certain pace off of certain run actions, we say our linebacker technique is key the backfield of the line. So we got to know where the back's going and we got to feel who pulls or who doesn't. So sometimes we may see it really fast, but we got to trust who's ever on the edge, be it a linebacker, a DB, a Sione, whoever, to set the edge and go at that correct angle. So a couple of those things are finding the angle. And with what's been great about this group is on the sideline, even within those games, if they overplayed or underplayed on an angle, they fixed it the next time. And that's the key. And we've gotten better at that since that game down there against the team with the bird on the helmet, that team. We've gotten better at fitting things because they did a good job with some of their schemes. They're a tough team, and you see it. Everybody else too. They do a good job running the football in their schemes. They had a couple actions that were really, really good, and we've been able to fix since.
Obviously, when you play the Ravens, a lot of the talk is about Lamar, but how, with the way they run the football, can you kind of just talk about the discipline your linebackers, the extra discipline your linebackers have to play with, knowing that you have that +1 with Lamar, but, you know, a J.K. Dobbins, whoever, Kenyon Drake, I mean, any of those guys can, you know, are also legitimate threats.
Yeah, they do a really good job of using their personnel for what they can do. So we have to recognize where they are, and we have to use our rules because they do a great job of running the same things but moving everybody to different positions to hide it. That's their strength. So we have to be able to do this. So, for example, identifying who the back in the game is and where he is. That's a big thing we got to know. And then trusting our keys to take us there. So you just called it. That's what we're working on every play. Is they're going to change groups every play. Whatever our call is, we got to use our rules, identify where they are. And some of them involve communication, others don't. Others just involve, hey, this is this, let's go. So, and they can run at you in any set. They can run at you with 3 backs in the backfield. They can run at you with 1 back in the backfield. They can run at you with nobody in the backfield except the quarterback. So we got to know all those things.
Is Jeremiah kind of where you wanted him to be at this point in year 2?
I think Jeremiah is all professionals go through this. It's a little like learning how to study for tests because some people need to read every notes that they write in their own handwriting 10 times. Other people can see it once, read it every day, and get it. So where he's going is he's learning how he learns. This is when, and Jeremiah had one of his best practices yesterday. And here's where he's elite and where he can take himself is when he gets aligned right and he starts the down with that great pace and bend that he can play with, and he trusts his eyes. He's absolutely amazing. It's every once in a while, as a young player, you get aligned and you're like, well, what if it's this? But then it's not. See, everybody goes through that. Being around some great ones, I won't read the whole list right now. Okay, that's that focus point when you're in each play. Now, how we describe it to them is next play is the best play. That's the mindset. Okay, Takeo Spikes taught myself and Patrick Willis and Jeff Holbrook, and I can read you the list. I'm not going to read the list, but he taught himself as a younger player. You know, he was looking at everything instead of just keying what he's supposed to key, putting himself in the great body position and going. Jeremiah had some great putting himself in the right body position and attacking what he sees last week towards the end of that football game. And, of course, that's what we're emphasizing this week. So next play is the best play is our mindset and our mentality. So he can continue to do that. He's going to do this. But what happens with players in the first, second year is they do this because they can't take themselves there all the way yet. They don't know exactly what to study in a game week to get himself there, but he's working on it.
How much of a boost is it just having A-Walk back in the room and being able to communicate with the guys on a day, on an in-person basis, when they're in the building?
I'm smiling. I'm glad you asked that. We did a little musical chairs in our linebacker meeting room, okay, because we had Debo and A-Walk come back into the room, and he's absolutely amazing because he is so selfless. All he wants is the team to win in every which way. Absolutely love him. I think for his three games that he played this year, he played at the highest level he's ever played. I was so impressed with his 3 games. And he's in the room. Today he didn't even have his crutches, which is really fast. But he's right there next to our guys, and their discussions are awesome because it is like, here's the rule, look at this. And he can take them to some of the things we were just talking about, that just get yourself aligned, get your eyes right. So he is next to one of our young linebackers, and Debo's next to the other right now in our room, and it's a good situation. And I'm proud of our more veteran guys for how well they want the team and the other linebackers to do. It's not always that way. It's a really cool group, and we're looking forward to see what they can do together because of that.
Ask about Taki. He's grading out really well, and just wondering, what are you seeing from him, on the field and on film?
Well, I gave the long answer about the progression of young players. Sione has gone through that. So when we got here, he was hurt his first year. And then so the first year here 3 years ago is really his first year. So he was learning. So he had some of those ups and downs, certain zone coverages, certain fits. Now Sione has the experience level and lock-in mindset, and he's learned how to get his body ready. He's amazing. He's a machine right now. He knows how to get his body ready. He knows how to eat. He knows exactly how much to weigh each game week. He knows exactly where to put his eyes, hands, and feet to set an edge. For example, Sione's reps were up. He was really good at some of the physical run game football, which is why you saw some of those yards come down, especially early in the game last week. And I'm very proud of Sione, and we love where he is focus level. So you'll continue to see him, and he's playing multiple spots more. A few years ago, he was playing one spot. Now he can play them all. Very, very proud and impressed with Sione.
I understand why you went with Sione more last week, but I'm curious, how did JOK handle not playing his normal allotment of snaps?
He was pretty good early in that game, and then there was a play that he didn't make, and he locked in. And from that point, he handles everything fine. To answer, I mean, he's fine. He's great. He's energetic. He's positive. He does what he's asked to do, which is really cool. And he didn't make one play, and then he locked in. And at the end of that game, he was playing really well. So, and then, like I said, yesterday was one of the best practices he's had. I'm excited to see him. We all want to see him translate it and just take off. So, and it'll still waver some. Nobody's perfect, but he set his mind really well in the middle of that game, and I was proud of him for that.